Hello, today is Tuesday and it is November 18th, 2025. And that's right, I'm here at home. I've got my little Christmas tree going over there. And I thought I would just come on and talk about Tim. The way the sun's coming up in the morning, there's just no way I can film and it look halfway decent inside the vehicle. So I'm going to be sitting here doing it, and I know I'm sitting where it's hard for me to be still because I feel like I need to keep touching something. I'll try to get off of that. All right, the temperature is 36 degrees, and we've been getting warm during the day, upper 60s, low 70s, and I think it's pretty much supposed to stay this way. Now, just so you know, you're probably going to start hearing about a Thanksgiving storm or shortly thereafter, so whether it amounts to anything, it's too early to tell, but just know you're going to start hearing a lot about a storm, possibly. But right now, you can't control it. You can't control it then, you can't control it now. Just, if you're flying, I would just be prepared that there could be delays depending on where you're going. But then again, once you start delaying one place, it trickles down to no matter where you're going. All right, we're going to talk about Tim because I feel like the past 2 days he's gave us some good content. I mean, I don't mean good content as exciting, but we're kind of going to, and I am not a therapist. I am just someone who observes people. And I've been doing this a long time. Now, from the very beginning of me making Sarasota Tim videos, I've told you I felt he was miserable. Now, anybody that is not happy, we'll just say he's not happy instead of miserable. You can hide it. I mean, it's so easy to hide. I mean, I can hide it, It's not that I'm unhappy, but there's going to be days that you're just not happy. And yes, I can hide it, as can Tim. But Tim puts on this big persona of, being energetic and happy all the time. Well, I think that for now, and he's probably going to start acting again in a couple of days. When you get closer to Thanksgiving, he's going to start acting probably happy again, energetic again. He'll start trying to pump himself up, which is typical of a salesperson. Anyway, so I was going to talk about the one he did Sunday night, but that one, everybody else has talked about it. I did film yesterday, but like I say, I didn't put it up because it was awful. So I'm just going to talk about the one he did last night to make this video not so long. Anyway, I did watch it, but I am going to use the AI notes here. But I'll tell you, from what I can remember, and I may fast forward it just a little bit here and there, just to let me remind me of what's going on. I'll let you know that he is definitely drained in this video. He says he's not sleeping, which I think a lot of people aren't sleeping right now. I don't know if it's something in the solar universe or what's going on, but I do believe there is something keeping a lot of people awake. It could be you're concerned about something. I admit that there's some things I'm concerned about. It has more to do with just trying to take care of a house by yourself when you've never had to do it. And I was spoiled, and it's just little things like that concern me. I worry about stuff that I can't really control at times. 10 years from now, I worry about how high are the taxes going to be on this house. Some people keep saying, oh, they're going to do away with property tax. I don't know how they can do that, but what do I know? Anyway, I'm not going to worry myself whether they do it without it. The fact is right now they have to be paid every year. And we had a sizable increase this year. I can tell you right now, if my mom was around, she would be twice as bad as I am right now, worrying about it. She'd probably be, if she was healthy, she'd probably be saying, I got to go back to work at 83, 84 years old, because that's just the way she was. And I guess I'm getting there to be that same way as I age. Also, it just hit me the other day that next week is the anniversary of my stepdad's death, which it will be 14 years, I believe, 14 or 15 years. And he died at 67. Well, I'm 66. Even though I know he had a lot of medical problems, he had medical problems from the time he turned 50. I know he worked in an environment that years ago, no precautions were taken to whereas they are now. But back then, you didn't wear a mask if you worked around chemicals and boilers, and you just inhaled all that stuff. And I mean, that's eventually what killed him, but now they do take precautions. So I'm not working in that environment, never have, but still it makes you think. And I admit that I know the runway is shorter than it used to be, but I try my best not to think about it. But there's going to be times like this right now that I will think about it. But I mean, it's not telling me that I need to retire. What it tells me is, but what if I live to, we don't know. My thing has always been, what if I live to be 90? What if I live to be 100? I don't think I will, but I mean, you just don't know. And I don't feel like that I need to sit around every day and think about, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that before I die. I don't have a bucket list. I don't care about making a bucket list. I care about taking one day at a time. And if one day at a time means I do this or I do that, then that's what it was meant to be. All right, let's get on to Tim. So he complains about food being so expensive, which there again, that's something we're all facing, that food is higher. He talks about beef. Well, it's just like some of the people that promote carnivore, keto, that even the cheapest meat is better than grains and cereal will ever be. And I know a lot of people don't believe in carnivore or keto, and that's okay, but I'm just telling you that's the mindset you got to have. If you're going to continue and pay the prices, you have to know that it is still better for you to do this than going back to cheap processed foods. But they're not cheap anymore. So anyway, sorry, my alarm went off. Okay, so he complains about grocery prices, which, this is the way I look at it. There's a lot of prepper channels out there that you can go watch if you want to see somebody complain about prices. And Tim says that his... Get off of there.
I'm so tired.
I'm so tired, y'all. He talks about, like I say, he wants to be positive, so he don't need to be talking about the prices of food unless he wants to be a prepper channel. I mean, I get it. Say a minute and go on, but this video is nothing but a pity party, I believe. Okay, he talks about vlogging with his motorcycle. Says he's given up on the microphone and all that good stuff. Well, there's all types of videos out there that you can figure out how to make that work. But he's going to have to spend some money. Let me tell you, by the money he has spent on just these little gadgets, of course, I know he sends them back. That microphone he just purchased, I have a feeling, is going back. The lavalier, which I have one of those. Y'all, I'm sorry, I just don't like microphones. Unless I'm outside and want to block something out, I just don't like them. Anyway, I think it's like Scott of Static Campervan. You need to find the right one for your voice, and I've not found the right one yet because I talk so loud and my voice carries. All right, I need to shut up. So he now has this motorcycle that he doesn't want to buy a GoPro or a DJI camera. So therefore, he whines and complains. Okay, I have a DJI, as I told you how many times. I've used it a couple of times. It's not that easy for me. If I had someone with me that knows how to use it, I probably could learn it a lot quicker. You know, I see the bloggers using it, and they act like it's just the greatest thing in the world, and I just don't know. I just don't see it. Okay. Anyway, he talks about that he wants to take a trip on the motorcycle, and he wants people to give him ideas on where to go. Okay, he lives in the state of Florida. Why can't he go to... Okay, he says something about riding to Naples. Just ride there. Just quit talking about it and do it. You're not retired. You don't have to be anywhere any certain time. So get on the bike today and just go. That's what I say. That's why I take road trips all the time. And I don't prepare. I mean, unless something's going on, then you go. Okay. Reflections of Life and Age. He watches the movie The Seint with Val Kilmer and Elizabeth Shue. And of course, he has to bring up Val Kilmer passing away with cancer. So there again, we're going back down the road of being depressed. And then he talks about Thanksgiving. What is he going to do at Thanksgiving? Is he going to go over to Fred and Raphael's, or is he going to go see his daughter? I don't know that maybe before he started making videos, he went to see his daughter on Thanksgiving, but I think that's where he should go. But my question would be, why does she not ever come to see him? You know, why does he not invite her down there? I know he doesn't have room for her to stay there, but there's all kinds of Airbnbs around that he could help pay to rent for them, and then they all be together in a house with a kitchen, everything. I mean, duh. I mean, that would just be my thing, is why don't he invite them to come down there? Because maybe they're waiting for an invitation. That's right, I got Snoop Dogg out. So he don't know what to do for Thanksgiving. What did he do last year? Went to Fred and Raphael's, I think. Okay, now he loves where he's living. He loves being at that RV campground or park, whatever it is, where he can build a fire every night. He just loves the little things like that he couldn't do in an apartment. Okay, that's telling me that someone has been saying to him they're not living in that camper, but they'll live in an apartment. And there's no reason why. There are at least 3 of those apartments, condos, in where Fred and Raphael lives that are available that are under $200K. He could sell the bike, the truck, the camper, and he'd have a good down payment. The dues there is $300. And I mean, most dues in Florida right now for condos, when I've looked, is over $500, the HOA fees. I mean, $300 is nothing compared to what some of them are. I mean, some of them are, yes, the condo's cheap, but I saw some of them were $1,500 a month and it wasn't even that good a shape. I mean, the buildings, it wasn't like it was this. Anyway, I'm just saying, if he wanted to buy a place there, he could. Or I think he could. If his credit is as great as he says it is. Of course, he would. I mean, yes, it would put him in debt. And he would have to pay, the power bill and stuff like that. Which I think he has to pay now anyway. So, but if he got a little car, I mean, I know I said sell the truck. So he'll have to get him a little car. And I'm not saying he has to get a brand new one. He can get a good used one. And then he could travel in that. And I mean, get a hotel room. I mean, hotel rooms are at every price now. You can find anything from, he said he didn't mind staying at that Motel 6 that he stayed at. So, I mean, he could go wherever he wanted to. All right. Now, he appreciates his community. And he especially appreciates NYX Runner for supporting his channel by sending him some coffee money. Well, isn't he special? He finally got some coffee money. I don't know. I don't look at it anymore. I don't know how much he gets. I don't care. People are going to give to him no matter what. I don't beg for money. And, if people want to give, they're going to give. You don't have to beg. It's just like, I understand YouTube wants you to say, subscribe to my channel, but they don't want you begging. So at this point in time, I'll say, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and click the thumbs up. And of course, if you want to join my wonderful community, you can. I appreciate all my members that I have now. And my membership is the least I can get by with. And, my plan is if I ever get what I feel is enough members to do a live members only, I will. I do most of the time I am putting the videos up first to members only, and then it goes out to others later. And I mean, I've read enough of that. I've read enough to know that that's supposed to help. I'm not going to get into all that. Y'all get tired of hearing it. I know you do. Anyway, Tim is lonely and depressed. He needs a hobby. I do think that he's to a point that he needs, if he's not going to get up a hobby, he needs to be going to the gym, if that really helps him. Walking around at Nathan Benderson Park is, to me, that's just, that's something that him and Tammy used to do. Maybe he needs to find some other place to walk. That bird sanctuary or whatever it's called. I know that looked really nice that people walk at. There's other places he could go walk if he wants to walk outside. He could travel to, I don't know. He's around so much. He claims he wants to be in the mountains where he walk. Well, to me, it's easier to walk on level ground. Yes, I know you need some hills every now and then, but I don't go walk around here because there's so many hills. And after a while, they get to you. And I don't get the thrill that everybody says getting back to nature. I mean, you do feel good for a day, maybe. And maybe if you did it continuously, you'd feel better. But I don't know. I just don't think it's for me. I'd rather go walk in the gym if I'm going to walk. And, I get my exercise just walking around at work. I'll get up and walk for 10 minutes around the building. So, you do what you want to do, but don't whine about it if you keep, what am I trying to say? I think with Tim, he's looking for everything he can not to do something. And that's a sign of getting older. We all sometimes get to that point, and then we have to lift ourselves up and get out of it. I know a lot of people get this way around the holidays. And I just think that Tim is throwing this pity party for himself in order to get donations. Because he says he wants to travel, so people's going to send him money and say, travel, maybe this will make you feel better. And, go down to the Keys or go down to Naples. Go somewhere that, people don't go. I know there's all kinds of places he could go down there that, I don't know. It's just, I know I keep saying that. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know how to get out of that habit. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to get it to shrug my shoulders. And I know this video is way too long. So we're going to shut up. We're going to look at the comments here real quick. So Jeff Basil 9321 said, this is not one of your best videos, Mr. Tim. Well, I think that he probably knows that, and he did give him a smart answer. And I probably would have said the same thing. Thanks for reminding me of how bad it was. Just like this video is probably not any good. And this one, he says he's a doctor. I don't know. He says, like I told my patients, as humans, we are either thinking or doing. Don't exercise or do something, and we are in our own head. Even the most positive people can go downhill. Even the most positive people who make themselves be positive, I think, can. If you're naturally a positive person, you won't stay in the negative very long. Okay, this one says you're consumed with the motorcycle and you're not exercising. My thing is that the not sleep, I do think there's something going on with the atmosphere. And also, I think that he's in this wishy-washy. I don't think he's ever been carnivore, but I do think he was probably meat-based. But I think he's going back and forth too much. You know, you cannot go, and I'm the world's worst. I've been there. I know it. You cannot go one day all meat and the next day you get off. You've got to say, okay, from now on, I'm meat-based, or there'll be no carbs. I mean, if this is the plan you're going to plan for the rest of your life, and you're going to have an occasional cheat day, that's what you've got to do. And that's why old guy carnivore, he says he can't cheat. And I mean, I do cheat, but I know deep down I shouldn't. And I think Tim is the same way. Okay, then this author Vandermark that's always commenting, don't burn your britches. A lot of articles in AARP on living alone as more for people our age. You should read and cover in your chat. And then somebody said, perfect nighttime video, Tim. And then this person says, I've been contemplating the same thing. Time is flying. I'll be 68 in April, almost pushing 70. I was retired at 55. The union covered me with medical to 65. Then Medicare with my union advantage plan. My old lady is driving me nuts. They get nutty as they get older. What a life. Well, Michael, you men get nutty too. So we're all nutty together. And, this guy says, get the 360 camera and hook it to the bike. Or, my thing is that's just too complicated for him. He's like me. If you don't have somebody to help you with it, he just can't do it. And, of course, Sheree is back to commenting after he called her out for not commenting. Sharon Edwards. I call them insulated cups, but that might not be the right term for them. I don't know what she's talking about there. Arthur says a trip down Route 66. People's done Route 66 so much that, you're just tired of it. Okay, this guy here. Are you from Sarasota? I am. I live in Delray Beach now, but I lived in Sarasota for 49 years, except for when I went to college at Villanova. And then somebody talks about Publix. Okay, we got a Publix. And yes, they do think highly of their food and supplies. And another one is Harris Teeter, who is owned by Kroger now, but they're another one. I went in there Saturday because I didn't want to have to go back to Walmart. And I just didn't want to go to Walmart up there. And I was only going to get a couple of things. And also I went in there and my coffee was on sale. My Don Francisco, it was buy one, get one free. So I had to get two of those, But I mean, that was okay because it really wasn't that much to start. I think it was $8.99 to start with. So that wasn't a bad price for the K-Cups. But drinks. Okay, I get Diet Pepsi caffeine free here at Keep It Home. And I believe it was $3 more than what they are at Walmart. I know they were like $2 more than what they are at Food Line, so I think they were like $3 more than what they are at. And then, what else was it that was so expensive? Oh, my Quest bars. Of course, I haven't eaten any in a while, but I was going to get some, And I thought, no, them things were $11.99 a box there. They're $8.99 at Walmart, $9.99 at Food Line. I'm not paying $11.99 for them. I don't need them that bad. All right. I'm going to go, y'all. I do appreciate each one of you watching my video and, supporting me. I know that you get told that time and time again, but I do appreciate each and every one of you. I do try to answer every comment. Now, there'll be occasion that I'll miss one if it's done late or, I'll just miss it. I'll put it that way. And if I do miss your comment, if I've not hit the heart, I apologize for that. But I do try to at least acknowledge them with the heart. I'm not just going to tell you that I've seen your video. You're going to know that I've seen it, or I feel like most of you are going to know that I actually did see it and read it. And I do try to answer them, even if it's just thank you. Because I know, as someone who is a fan of YouTube and comments on a lot of videos, that means a lot. And I try to run this channel the way I want to be treated. And that's all I got to say. So thank you again so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. I've said that before, but that's just always my ending. And I've got to go to work now. So y'all have a great day, great evening, whenever you're watching this. I hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll talk to y'all later. Love you. Bye.